What's up, guys? I'm back with another update on the website. And this week, I've just strictly been focusing on the dueling side of things. And as you can notice, there are some visual changes here. I added a temporary background. This is basically the background of the rest of the simulator. I just wanted to, just while I'm working on it and progressing, to make it look a little bit more interesting. But this is not going to be the final look. And neither is the board either. But speaking of the field and the board, I actually kind of tilted the board a little bit to give it kind of like a 3D effect. So it's not completely flat like it used to be. Another thing I'm going to do, because I think it just looks really ugly right now, are the back side of the cards. I'm just going to get rid of this green, and I'm going to put like an actual, like back of the card. And then I also changed the phase buttons. I think they were like colorful and stuff like that. I mean, when you still click on them, they still turn like a different color, but I decided to make them a little bit more muted. But yeah, I'm probably also going to increase the spacing between, your side of the board and the opponent's side of the board as well. But that's for the future. Right now, most of what I've been focusing on has been actually, with playing with the cards and moving them around on the field and the board and everything. So let's take a monster card, let's place it on the board, and as you can see, it snaps onto the board. And this is really good because compared to before, there was this like animation. If you try to drag a card from one slot onto the other, it kind of had this short-lived animation of the card moving from one slot to the other. It looked bad, and just in terms of responsiveness, it was bad. But when you're moving the card now, it's instant. So it's very snappy, very responsive. And yeah, another thing you might notice that I added is basically I added the stats for each monster card. So right now it displays the attack and defense of the monster, which is pretty neat. And of course, when you move the card to the graveyard or the remove from play zone, the stats get removed. And also, if you add it back to the hand, the stats also end up getting removed as well. So that's pretty nice. Another thing that I added when it comes to monsters is I have these buttons, which I was kind of showcasing last time, I think. Actually, I don't even fully remember what exactly I was showing last time, but basically, if you want to switch the battle position of the monster, you can just click defense. It switches. And as you can see, also the the label for the attack and defense also still stays here at the bottom position of the card. If you want to put it back to attack, that also gets reflected as well. And if you want to set it, it goes like this. Now keep in mind, you can still see the stats for the card when it's face down, but your opponent can't see this. And I'm actually going to showcase this in a little bit. And if you click flip, you could just go between flipping and setting the card. And while it's set, if you want to change it to, face up attack position, you click the button and there you have it. And of course, if a card is set, if you want to move it, to other slots on the field, it still stays in set position. But if you add it back to your hand, for example, it goes to face up attack. And, if it's set and you move it to the graveyard, it goes to face up attack as it should. So that's pretty nice. Another thing is when you just set a trap card, it automatically goes face down. Whereas for spells, the default is for them to be face up. Now, I was basically experimenting with something where if you click on a card, if you left click it, it sets it in the hand, and then you can drag it onto the field, and then you just set it instead of summoning or activating it. I kind of removed that for now because I'm still experimenting with some ideas, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want it to behave. But yeah, for now, it doesn't have that functionality. But yeah, if you set a card, for example, when you hover over it, there's the activate button to flip it up. And if you want to set it, you could just set it. Same thing for spells. You can click set or activate. And of course, the same logic applies to them as well when you return them to the hand and whatnot. So I'm going to refresh this really quick because there's also, there's a different, there's this bug that I really need to fix, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. But it might show up in the video, so I hope it doesn't. But basically, I'm recording one web browser right now, and on my other browser, I have, I'm the other player. So I'm basically going to show you also the perspective of, if you're actually playing the game and your opponent is playing, if your opponent decides to switch a monster to defense or back to attack, or if your opponent sets the card, as you can see, now you can no longer, see the stats for the, attack and defense. And when it flips back up, you can see the stats once again. And when the opponent sends it to the graveyard or, removes it from play, you can't see the stats either. And then, of course, when a card gets added back to the hand, or if your opponent sets like a trap card, or if your opponent activates a spell card, and so on and so forth. So yeah. That's, I think, pretty much it for now. Lots of interactions, lots of improvements, definitely. It's starting to look more and more like an actual playable simulator. I still have so many things to implement, like drawing things, shuffling the hand, and other actions like returning stuff to the top of the deck, like for example for Phoenix Wing Windblast. And of course, I still haven't even implemented, like a life points counter or counters and dice and, all that other stuff. A chat box. There's so many things, so many things. But yeah, I'm going to continue working on this, and I'm going to try to fix that bug that I was talking about. But yeah, just thought I'd share this progress. Also, some people said that they prefer, instead of it saying set or flip, or saying defense and attack, some people prefer if they're like icons here instead. So if you do prefer that, let me know in the comments section below. There's probably going to be a setting for that to switch between just seeing an icon or seeing text. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.